Welcome to Griffin. We're back here in October, just waiting for the animal dealer to open. We've come down to pick up another 6 cows. You'll recall last time we finished that cow pasture and put a few in it, and in order to build up a supply of cows that we'll sell into the future and, you know, keep our stock, it'll be a while before they breed themselves, a year or so. So we want to keep adding, as we can afford it, cows in to seed the process, so that over time we build a steady flow of mature animals that we can then on-sell. Now, having added some cows, we've also got a few things. It's like any new job, you get excited. There's so much to do and so many places to start. And of course, because we're still learning with our ex-banker here, there's lots of stuff that we suddenly realise we need. And a good example of that is having picked up the hay. We realised that we made some reasonable choices last time, but we also got the grass from the field across the road. And if we have a look at the state, we have a fermenting silo. Now, what we didn't realise last time is we put a little bit of hay in it, thinking that we'd be able to get the hay back out. Turns out we can't. We can only get silage out. So that was fine. We filled it up with grass, thinking that there wasn't a lot of difference between the grass and the silage. Well, it turns out we didn't really understand the process particularly well, because 1 litre of grass in only produces 0.6 litres of silage, and more to that, it only produces that 0.6 litres at 24,000 cycles a month. So realistically, around about sort of 15 to 18,000 litres a month. Now, we turned it on at the end of the day, so it hasn't run very long. So we're getting it down, but not at a tremendous rate. And of course, the silo only holds 200,000 litres. So when I filled the last trailer off that meadow, I was unable to empty the trailer. So that means we've got a forage wagon there, which is full of grass and nowhere to put it. But probably worse than that, and it's going to be a while before that changes. The next issue is, if we read this properly, what this is actually saying is 0.8 of a litre of hay will produce 1 litre of silage. So in other words, a lot more silage for our hay, and enough that it makes sense that we should really only be making hay silage in this fermenter. So in one way, that's convenient, because hay is what we want to feed to our cattle. But it does mean that we've got to work our way through all this grass, which we can't do anything with now, in order to be able to meaningfully turn things to hay. And when I add that into the situation on the farm, I've got all that hay that I created around the house, but no way to pick it up now, because the forage wagon is full of grass. So bit of a long story, but it's been busy since I last saw you. So that's what brings me here to the shop, where I've concluded the only way out of this bind, practically in the short term, there's nothing of use to us in the sales. So we're going to need to get hold of a cheap baler. Now, balers do vary in price quite a lot. This one's cheapish but makes smaller bales. So I kind of want the process to be as efficient as possible. These are the cheapest ones I have, but their price and the nature of them lends me to think I should be buying them outright rather than contemplating leasing. So that kind of leaves me back in this terrain, which is not bad. And I'm leaning towards the case. And the thing that's kind of pointing me there is that little baby John Deere that we bought last time. Looks like it's got enough horsepower to run this baler. The only real question is, will it be able to pull it, given that it's at 3.4 ton? It's a little heavier than the tractor. So I'm thinking that it will, and therefore we should go ahead and lease this one. And the thing that makes me a bit more confident is after chatting to the folks in the shop here, they assure me that they have a weight which should help with the balance on that little tractor and even everything out. And it's because that little tractor doesn't have a 3-point link. But I'm told that, is it these? These weights will fit on that tractor. So I'm going to buy one of those and we'll send someone down with our little tractor to pick that up. Now, the other thing that struck me as I was collecting all the grass in that field, we did less than a third of it. So this is the meadow across the road. We did less than a third of it last time and got 200,000 litres, more than 200,000 litres of meadow grass off it. So I'm thinking that in the remainder of it, there's plenty of grass. What we need to be doing is creating a field and getting a crop into it. And so to get that process started, we need a plough. And looking across at the prices and the sizes, I'm actually thinking that, what's this? That's 6 meters. I'm 220 horsepower. I'm actually thinking this one, grabbing one of these and using that will be the way to get a field going. So that's the things we needed all organised. We can't take any of that with us, so we'll have to send tractors down. But another important activity, of course, today is our cornfield is ready to harvest. So we need to get up there and get that organised. I've hired a chap to, given it's my first harvest, to come in and help us with the harvester. I'm thinking that it might be a good idea to have an experienced hand at the wheel of the harvester, and I'll drive the truck to do the unfill and bring the grain back, or the unload and bring the grain back to our silo, and hopefully the two of us working can keep that keep that moving along. Now, I'm also pretty keen that if that goes well, and there were other similar harvests to come available, we should really take advantage of the fact that we've spent a lot of money to lease that equipment and see if we can get some more income from a harvest contract or two. So I don't know what the state of play is there. And when we get back up to the farm, we'll have a bit of a look. We'll drop these cows in the paddock and get everything underway. So I'll see you up there in just a minute. So here we are back at our cow pen. We can unload our 6 new members of the herd. I almost said flock. Be the first flock of cows for a while. Now, if we just jump out and have a look, we can see we've now got 2 sets of calves a month apart, and some more mature calves that are just coming along nicely. They're quite happy on the hay. Their health is coming up, so that's all good. They've got plenty of water, so we can pretty much leave them to their own devices and get on with getting our equipment across to the cornfield. So I might just leave, or we'll put the trailer over here. I think we need a few modifications to the yard here to make it a bit easier. The shed, particularly that little shed, doesn't hold most of it. It's just a bit too small. So let's grab our harvester and get that up to the field. Let's try and get it out of here without running into something that we shouldn't. You can see our corn up there, all ready to go. If we just pull off the side here, we can get the header on. It's a little bit crooked on the trailer. I don't know why that's the case. This looks like it wasn't strapped on. Must be one of these cheap trailers. Came with the leased gear. It's not the world's largest corn header either, so this field could take a little while to do. Let's open everything up. Let's just cut into our field a little here. And there we go, we're away. Real milestone for the farm. So, and we want to create a job for him. The field we're operating in is this field up here. So the target position is just there. The field is here. We need to open the course generator. The work width looks pretty good. There is only one tool. We'll do 3 headlands. Sharp headlands clockwise. Up and row direction can be automatic. There are no islands in this field. and we'll leave the field margin. So let's generate the course. That's going to run in that direction. Given the field's pretty squarish, I don't think that matters. So let's just, yeah, that looks pretty good. So I think we'll start job. What are you doing? Oh, it's had a hiss. It's supposed to be staying out of the crop, but clearly didn't. Well, it is a way, even if that wasn't quite the... let's see, this is... What field number are we in? We're in field 35. So, field 35. Let's create a new folder. 35. And we want to save course. And this will be harvest single corn. Okay. Well, that will do for that one. So now if we head back, oh, actually the other thing I wanted to look at was the state of contracts. There are a number of baling contracts which are of interest because I think we can do them. It's just a question of time. There aren't any other harvest contracts. So my inclination, what's this contract? Inclination 32. So that's silage. That I think that will be an excellent contract for us to have a go at because the bales are going to Larson's. It's silage bales and it's equipment that we can handle. So we might just put that aside for the moment. In the meantime, we've got lots to go on with. We need to, he's already up to half full, so we need to be getting our truck organised. So here we are. Let's get the truck over and set up. And the other thing we'll do is dispatch our little tractor down to the store in the hope that it can pick up that baler. So there's a chap running around that will come and get this for us. Let's create, whoops, set a destination. We want you in the store. So I think just here will be fine. And we can now take the truck, which would be getting pretty close to the back of this field for us. I wonder where we can turn up at the top here, turn around at the top here, or not. We don't have a gate. And I'm tipping that he may be full before he runs back. Let's just see here. This'll do. Quite exciting to see the first corn harvest for our new farm. Feels like some progress. Let's empty this out. That was good timing. He's going to back out of the crop, is he? Where are you going? Cutting in for his next row. Good on you. No, cutting in so I can empty. Can't decide what it wants to do. I can only conclude there's a little bit of a synchronization problem between our drivers. Let's try not to drop the corn on the floor. Their first coffee break. I think we might see if we can get those settings synchronized a little bit better. It's always entertaining to watch. While this is filling again, let's run across there and get the John Deere organized, the larger one. And it can go down and pick up the player. You can see we've got plenty of hay there that needs to be collected. At least now we've got a baler to do that with. In terms of finances, we're doing okay. We're running between 10 and 15,000 a month total for the leased equipment, but of course the harvester is a big piece of that. So we'll set this destination to be here, and off he will, well, it's a she in this instance. We'll go back and empty, and then when we've got this load done, we can jump down to the shop and hook those bits of equipment on. Where are we? We're over the back there. Got one vehicle down at the shop, so that's good. And we've got pretty much a full truck here. So I don't think I'll try and navigate the turn. We'll just take out the gooseneck on the trailer. Oh, the drawbar rather on the trailer. handy having our silo here, and it's a big occasion putting our first grain delivery into our silo. I really have no idea how much corn we'll get off this field. We did manage to get some fertilizer on it, so that's helping. Let's just pop down the shop and get that other equipment on its way back. Alright, so there's our little tractor. We know that it can navigate, and if we get that into the workshop, I'm sure they can help me by bolting on, assuming it's all going to fit, that weight that we purchased. Squeeze through there. Okay. And all being well, this should enable us to grab this and whilst we're a bit dwarfed, it does indeed seem to be pulling it just fine. So we can let our helper take this back up to the farm. And that's going to be a big assistance in keeping up with the hay activities. Looks like a pretty interesting piece of equipment. Rather a large piece of equipment. We'll have to be a bit careful on our return. I don't think I'm not sure on our insurance situation. I don't think I want to entrust this to a helper, so we might make our own way back, and I'll see you all back up at the farm. Well, it looks like we've got back to the farm just in time here. They got a call from our harvester driver to say he needs an unload, and I'm just wondering, are we going to be able to get in this gate? And the answer to that is a resounding, oh my god, we're stuck. So the answer to that would be no. So what am I going to do here? Right. Well, the learning experiences are endless. Presumably, why are you driving around in circles, dear? Okay, we might take over that and just park you over here for later on. We can grab some bales. Meanwhile, let's get this truck over to the field. It's all happening. It's only 20 to 11 in the morning and we've got all of this activity going on. I think we might just about be at the point where we need to be talking to Jocelyn to, she's my wife, to get her into the fray. I think it's time she learnt to drive a tractor. I reckon she'd be up for it. Now, what's happening over here? It's a bit easier to get in now. Seems to be coming along quite nicely. There's still plenty of corn on here though. So that's a really good sign. See if we can get our cruise control sorted out. Somewhere between 5 and 6. It's going to be getting pretty close to the tank. I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I think we might have to take a fence section out and make a bigger gate for that pasture. You know, we might as well go back and empty this. We need to get back to the yard ourselves and think about what's required to make a... I wonder if the gateway further down the hill would be better. There is a gateway there, but it's the same size. Let's unload our corn. While that's unloading, yeah, they're just not going to go through that that gateway, is it? So let's just see if we go down the hill a bit. Can't even remember if there's gates on this entrance down here. I don't think there is, so we might be lucky. It's just an opening. It is. So that's good to know. And that means that we can set ourselves up here to mark out the field course, the field we want when we get a free moment. Oh, and it's not even lunchtime. So let's go back and get the truck. And go and take another top up. I'm thinking we might call the shop and see if they, or the dealership, and see if they've got someone that'll drive that self-propelled mower up to field 32, and that would enable us to get that activity underway. Let's just see if we can unload here. Not sure if he's on the third headland or the first up and down. No, it must be the into the up and downs. Can we get him before we get to the end? Right. That's not too bad. So let's get the shop on the horn. So what we wanted to do is find the big M. So the 450M, and we want to create a job for you to go to field 32, which is right here. And start. And the shop itself, we visit the shop. We need and I've just realised that I should have hooked the trailer onto the back of the big M. That never mind. The advantage of this configuration There's no tow hitch on the back of there, is there? No. The advantage of this configuration is we shouldn't need to windrow, because we can get that the swaths out of the mower, which is extremely handy. So you need to go, and we'll put you okay. So let's go back up to our truck. There's our harvester. Just the Vario would appear to have gotten itself blocked somewhere. And we'll have to go rescue the Fent. We can do that after we've relieved our harvester of yet some more corn. Keep all the equipment moving. It's almost another full. So I think we'll take that back and empty it. But we also need to rescue this Fent. What is the Fent trying to do? It would appear we've got an unlicensed driver in the Crone who's struggling with the corners, and the Fent is a little bit more sophisticated, so we might just stop him running smack bang into the rear of that. Turn that one off. I have noticed that the hired workers, whilst they work reasonably well, they can struggle. Are we even on the correct road would be my... Yes, we are. We've got to go up here. The hired workers can struggle with non-standard steering, in particular rear-wheel steering vehicles. So up here somewhere to the right is our field. Now, if we just turn on our menu for the minute, we want... Where's the... Unfold the mower. Swath dropping. Yeah. We have a look at our fields here. I think with any luck, we should be able to get our worker back involved. And mow this field. That settings look fine. CPU fieldwork, course generator. That width is approximately right. Let's do 2 headlands on here. Sharp headlands. No islands. That course looks good. So let's, it's not a difficult course at all. So let's see how we go. And we go back and sort that fence out. And the bale size we want here, because we're making silage, we'll put to 150. Duck up here and park beside the field. My hope is that if we do this next time, that it will in effect cover the costs of our leasing for a month. Now, a couple of things I did want to mention in terms of the settings. I'm thinking we should, there's so many things to do that we should definitely go to 2-day months, which will come into effect from the next month. I'm also running the bank mod on here, and so you can see that one of the things that it enables you to do, I figured it was appropriate given our characters an ex-bank manager, but this is the money that we spent on land. This is therefore the amount we could in theory borrow against that land, being 80%. Our current loan is at 300,000, and I haven't got it set so that it'll dynamically change the amount of credit. I intend that we'll be very conservative in terms of any thought to increase that loan amount. But one thing that I am running that's higher than a base game setting is that the interest rate is at 6%, which I felt was quite a bit more realistic than the 4 that it usually is. So that's adding to a bit of increased cost. The other thing that I'm doing, that I have set on here, is the lease to own mod. And so if you haven't seen that, its effect is that when you lease a piece of equipment, so if we go into our equipment here and you lease, so when you lease a piece of, we don't want to do that. When you look at your equipment here, you get an extra option, which is the ability to purchase. Now, that's terrific and that's quite realistic. My only problem is that with the base mod as it comes, it simply it takes a 2% or adds a 2% premium for using the mod, which is a one-time sort of like an administrative fee at the start. And then it simply accumulates any lease payments you make and offsets those against the price. And the problem with that is that there's no concept of interest. So in effect, it means you just defer the full purchase price until you're ready to pay for it. But in the meantime, you can use the equipment, which seems extremely unrealistic to me. And so the modification that I've made is when you get the purchase price, it actually increases the total price of the equipment. So in this case, you can see if we wanted to purchase this piece of equipment, it's a 6250 with GPS on it. We would have to pay 303,000, and if we went into the shop menu and had a look at a 6250 as a large tractor or a medium tractor, the 6250 would normally, with the two sensors on it, would normally be 273. So I feel that's a realistic uplift because remember, we've already paid a couple of months worth of leasing payments on this. So the 273 is if we'd bought it up front. 303 is if we pay it out now. So I feel that's a much more realistic uplift. If anything, it's still probably a little bit light, but it fits within the context of the game. So if you're wondering, they're the financial constraints that I've put around our operation. So let's get back. We've got a full harvester and a full truck. So let's run over and empty the truck. And I'm thinking, given it's just gone the middle of the day, that this might be where we leave today's episode. That was part of my reason for going to 2-day months, is I think we'll sort of fit the workload a little more easily. We might have 2 episodes a month, but it'll work, I think, in terms of keeping an episode to a realistic length to cover some interesting activities. And I hope you'd agree, we've had plenty of interest today. So all there is to say at this point is thank you for watching, and I hope you'll stick with me and join us next time to see how we finish this harvest off and get our fields developing. Thanks for watching. See ya.